Good evening. This is Dr. Joe Montana, Doctor's Advice. Tonight, we are gathered here in San Diego, the common denominator. Most of my classmates from the University of the Philippines are here from different parts of the country because one of our dear classmates close to our hearts had just passed away, Dr. Jerry Arcelius. And truly, most of us, if not all of us, are still grieving and are in the different stages of grieving. So tonight, I would like to talk to you more about what is grief. What is grieving? It is defined as a deep sorrow and intense emotion of sorrow, usually because of a death of a loved one. And we know, even from medical school, that there are 5 stages of grieving. So tonight, before I start, I would like to introduce to you my 2 guests who gracefully agreed to speak to you and give their advices about grieving and as well as their knowledge about grieving. We'll also talk about a little bit more about coronavirus, an update from the last 2 weeks of our show with you. So tonight, I have the pleasure of introducing to you Dr. Celso Antiporda, an anesthesiologist from Ohio. So here he is, and he will talk more about himself. Please, Dr. Antiporda.
I specialize in anesthesiology, specifically in the practice of cardiothoracic anesthesia. I have been in practice for over 25 years in Ohio. I work at the multi-specialty hospital.
Tonight, we also have Dr. Rene Mandanas from Syracuse, New York, and would love to have you here, Dr. Mandanas, and he will talk to you more about his practice.
Thank you, Joe. This is Dr. Rene Mandanas. I'm a practicing general internist in Oswego, New York for more than 25 years.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rene and Celso. What so good to have you both here. So I have mentioned to you already about grief. So the first thing that I would like to discuss with you is denial. As soon as I heard about my friend's death, I was in a shock. And even up to now, I am really in denial, meaning that I cannot really explain what had happened to him and how it happened and why. Usually, this is a defense mechanism of how one can defend one's emotion when these things happen. This is very tragic for us and for me because, number one, Jerry is really a very close group mate of mine. We've been together for 4 years, and then all of a sudden, I just heard that he had passed away. So the first stage of grieving is actually denial, which I have experienced myself. So the second stage that now I would like Dr. Antiporda to discuss with you is about anger. That is the second stage of grieving. Dr. Antiporda?
That when I first heard about Jerry's death, like Dr. Jobotana mentioned, I felt that it couldn't be true. And then as I processed the events that happened, I felt that I was obligated to be at the side of the family and also to see what is happening with Jerry. I felt helpless and sort of angry that I couldn't immediately be available to be there. And I knew that I had to manipulate my schedule at the hospital in order to be able to give my respects to a family friend, to my fraternal brother, and to my classmates.
Thank you very much, Celso. So the third stage that we want to talk about is bargaining. So Rene, Dr. Mendanes will talk to you more about it. Rene?
Bargaining, bargaining is really things that where you're trying to get back what you have just lost. In this case, a really dear classmate. And what you think is, what if I did something for him? If I agreed to meet him sooner, if I agreed to get him something, would they get him back? Well, obviously you won't, but you try anyway. And that's really bargaining. But you go through that stage of bargaining.
Thank you. And the fourth one is depression. So again, I want to ask Dr. Renee to talk about it.
Once you realize that you're not going to get back a loved one, you start to realize that it's irretrievable, and you get depressed, you get to feel down. There's really two stages. But I think for the purpose of our discussion, it's not as important to do that. Just realize that you go through that step, that realize finally that the loss is there, and it's not going to, you're not going to get it back. You're not going to get whoever it is that you lost back.
You know, usually they associate isolation with denial. Would you also think that it's also a part of depression when one isolates himself or herself from other people as part of their depression?
Yeah, so that's real danger when you get depressed. That instead of it's a real therapeutic value when you open up to some about the loss, but normally you don't go to that right away. Most people will grieve within, and when they grieve within, they get depressed, and they keep it to themselves, and that's really that's not healthy.
May I add something to that?
Of course, please add something to that, Dr. Antipoida.
Thank you for mentioning the aspect of isolation, because Jerry was our classmate from so many years back, and really so far away. This event happened in California. I live in Ohio. I felt that nobody could really understand what was happening, not my family, not my friends, nor my colleagues at work, because they do not know the circumstances and the details of how we had known our dear friend.
You know, even more important in the current world that we live in, where everyone is connected, but they're not really close to you physically. You know, but yet they're attached and connected to you virtually. And the ones that are close to you physically at home or at work, they may not know all the virtual connections that each one of us have. And when you lose someone that is virtually connected to you, you cannot really relate it to the one next to you and to your friends and your workmates, for example.
Yes, very true. I agree with you. It's so true that even I have a different experience or a different connection with Jerry that I have expressed about all the memories that we have. So this is a part of our grieving when we try to remember the things that we've done together. And sometimes that gives us more depression and sometimes anger into the different stages. But truly, we have to go into these different stages so that there will be healing in our hearts. And then after all this, of course, the last one will be acceptance. Because when one accepts, then one may be healed regarding the situation. So Dr. Corda would like you to discuss more about this acceptance, please.
Being a medical doctor, and after hearing all the details of what transpired with our friend Jerry, I realized that the event was catastrophic. And I could see where it would lead to, and that death was inevitable. And knowing all this, and with my knowledge of medicine, I had to accept what was happening. And I was glad that the family was able to make a timely decision about the things that they had to do. And I think, thinking back on the good life that my friend has had and his family, acceptance was the best thing.
Yes, truly when we accept and know and then we just move on with our lives, knowing and we can still cherish the memories that we had with our friends, with our loved ones. So again, I would like to give my condolence to our dear friend, Dr. Josephine Lee Arcelian, the wife of the deceased, who is now here in San Diego. And we have visited today, and please accept our condolences. And yes, I remember with comes to the denials is that we could become numb with our workplace. That happened to me in the first week, and then now slowly I am moving into acceptance of its death. May not be easy, but sometimes they say it will take a month or some months for some people, but then if it's more than a year, it becomes abnormal. So it's very important that if you are going through grieving, that you understand the different stages. So if any of your family members are angry because your mom just died or somebody has died in your family, do not be angry at them. Just try to understand that it is a part of grieving. All of this these are all the different stages that comes in one's life. And we all know that truly we don't know when you're going to go or when is the time. So it's important for us to really love one another, to be kind and do the best things that we can to the people, especially to those who are loved ones. And do not forget to tell them that you love them. Do you have any comments about that, Dr. Salsa?
Yes, I believe that we should be very open with our emotions and do not leave off for tomorrow what you can achieve now. Tell your friends you love them because you may not see them in the next minute. Same with family, and I think we should always be ready.
Dr. Medina, any comments, please?
Well, acceptance at the end is really a healing end that we all try to strive with. And when you go through these different stages, from the anger that you said, if someone is angry because you lost somebody, you got to understand that that's part of the process. And then when you get depressed and so on, you just have to support.
Yeah.
And yet when it's acceptance and it's a new state, that will also involve change in relationships and etc. So that's important to go through all the stages and at the end of the day, I agree with Celso that you need to not let things pass. Do what you have for your friends or your loved ones today, and you may not never have that chance again.
May I add something again?
Yes, please.
One of our fraternity brothers who passed away 2 years ago wrote a book. And the memorable thing about the book was something that he wrote in it. Give me the roses now. Why wait for the inevitability of death before you express your affection or your gratitude to a certain person? Give them the roses now.
Very well said. That's a very, very good advice. Whatever we can do now, just do it now. Truly, we have to live for the now. We cannot think about the past because it's already done. And what about the future? We're not worried about the future because we'll never know what's going to happen. What is important is what we are now and what we can do, even the best, especially for our loved ones. So that is our message for today, Doctor's Advice. But also at the same time, now that I have two doctors here, I just want to have an update about the coronavirus. We have talked about it in the first two episodes that we had, and I talked about how do we protect ourselves. And to recapitulate, remember that we talked about washing our hands, making sure that you keep yourself hydrated, never leave your throat dry. You must have a good immunity. You have to take vitamin C, at least 2,000 milligrams a day for adults and 500 for children. And also, do not stress yourself, especially not to get angry, because it will lower down your immunity. And another thing is to sleep at least 8 to 10 hours a day. That's very, very important. So immunity is number one, but also it is being found out that this coronavirus cannot live a very hot environment. so especially on 26 degrees or on 78 Fahrenheit, and up to 27 degrees centigrade or 80 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the reason why I think the Philippines and even India, they do not report much of this coronavirus because it is hot in those places. So it is advised that instead of drinking cold water, you might want to drink more hot water because in a hot environment, the coronavirus cannot exist. Do you have any comments about that, Dr. Antipoda? You were recently in the Philippines. What can you say?
I have to say that there was a lot of fear and dread of the possibility of coronavirus infection. But I think certain common sense things that we can do. Since I come from the environment of the operating room, the washing of hands with soap and water is very important. Lacking that in other places, I would use a hand sanitizer with the appropriate percentage of alcohol. I would tend to avoid large crowds because that would probably increase the likelihood of infection in a place where the coronavirus has been deemed to be at risk for us. These are just a few of the things that I can think of at this time.
I can add that really the science behind coronavirus, a lot is not yet known. The mode of transmission is not very well established, the origin of it, and so on. And one of the things that we practice in medicine for healthcare workers is what we call universal precaution. And what it does is that you try to protect yourself with gowns, with masks, and then you wash yourself before you touch a patient, and you wash yourself after you touch a patient. The same thing can be said of what we do at home, or when you go out and be exposed to huge swaths of people. You can do the same thing. You can try to cover your face with masks, and wash your hands with soap and water, and whenever you think that you're exposed. But the reality of it is that this is a fast-moving state of infection, and there's a lot that we don't know. And every day and every hour, it's like more and more and more people are infected, and eventually it's going to get in your communities. And universal precaution is something that you can practice.
Thank you. But as of today, it's so true that it's spreading, but I had an inside report in Riverside, California from an EMT, and they're saying that even now, there is no report of anyone that's really positive in Riverside country, even if there were a lot who was at the air base in Riverside, but none were really reported positive. So it looks like it's good in Riverside and San Bernardino County. But in the other areas, I know that there's some reports, and they said that we have one death right now in America. But even then, we know that right now there are about 88,000 people who were infected. Right now with coronavirus, about 3,000 deaths. But we know also on the record that there are about 44,600 who have been discharged and are now well. So there is a hope. And I still believe that despite all this scare, as long as we do what we need to do, just like Dr. Mandanas had said, that we just have to do universal precautions, washing our hands, and also with the same thing with Dr. Antipoda. He has said the same thing. Washing hands, if not with water, with a sanitizer, and that will be good. That's aside from, of course, making sure that immunity is good. So with that, I hope that you have been benefited by our show tonight with my two good doctors, kind doctors, who had agreed to talk to you tonight about grieving and about the coronavirus. Again, I thank you for listening to us and watching us till the next time, that when we talk about other things, about health issues, about how to keep yourself young and what to eat so that you will have a long life. This is Dr. Joe Montana, Doctor's Advice. Thank you. you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Thank you.